I think it's pretty apparent to most people who have seen both Dragon Ball and Overlord that Ainz doesn't hold a candle to Goku when it comes to raw power. However, Ainz has a host of deadly magical abilities that make him far more dangerous than most characters in his tier of power. The question is, will these abilities be able to make up the difference when facing off against the unstoppable power that is Goku? Does Ainz even have any sort of chance of killing him at all? Or can Goku just stand there as Ainz tries every trick in the book and attempt to finish the simian off? That is what I will be discussing in this video, so if this topic interests you, I implore you to stick around and enjoy the show. Now, let us begin. The Supreme Overlord Ainz Ooal Gown has a multitude of powerful magical spells, but even his strongest spells only seem to have the capacity to destroy cities. So someone like Goku can shrug off planetary attacks even in his weakest form like nothing. None of Ainz's magical attacks should have any effect on him, right? Well, that should hold true for most of his attack spells, but he may be able to affect Goku with his spells that can bypass conventional durability. The first spell I would like to bring up is the one you saw at the beginning of the video, Grasp Heart. With this, Ainz can crush the enemy's heart with magic. Ainz may not be able to get past Goku's key defense with regular attacks, but if the attack is coming from the inside, this may be a different story. Now the only question is, how strong is Goku's heart, and does Ainz really have the strength to crush it? Well, we do know Goku's heart is at least somewhat vulnerable, considering he died in the future timeline from a heart virus. However, your heart shutting down due to a virus causing microscopic damage over time isn't really the same as your heart's overall durability. Goku's body can handle training at over 100 times Earth's gravity, and that would put an extreme amount of pressure on his heart and other internal organs. In Super, he even survived the black hole attack that had gravity so powerful, even light couldn't escape from it. Speaking of which, this means Goku should be able to survive Ainz's black hole spell. Even if Ainz's grasp was more powerful than Goku's heart muscles, if Goku can feel what's happening in time, he can arguably protect his heart with ki and stop it from being crushed like an insect. His heart is just another part of his body, so there's no reason his ki shouldn't be able to protect it. And considering Tao Pai Pai was able to enhance his soft tongue with ki and make it a deadly weapon that could penetrate the skull of General Blue, who's pretty tough himself, I think it's highly likely that Goku could amplify his heart's defense as well. The next spell I would like to bring up is Reality Slash. With this move, Ainz is able to cut his opponents open along with reality itself. You could argue just having a tough body wouldn't be enough to stop this attack, but Dragon Ball characters are no stranger to breaking reality. Both Super Buu and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks were so strong, just them screaming could rip holes through dimensions. And Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks stood no chance against the purple copied Vegeta, while base Goku did. So even base Goku should be more powerful than Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Unless you think the weaker Gotenks can kill the more powerful Goku by screaming at him, Goku should be able to resist the effects of Reality Slash. And just in case someone says it was just their screaming that can break through dimensions, or that breaking through the dimensions of the room in Spirited Time might be easier than breaking through the standard universe or something, Gogeta and Broly also broke through reality during their fight. And Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku should be more powerful than either of them at that point, as Gogeta was only in his Super Saiyan form, and Broly wasn't even at full power yet. So I don't think Reality Slash would work on Goku. Unlike the first two spells, this next one has no direct effect on the opponent's physical body. True Death. With this spell, Ainz just instantly kills his opponent, and they can't be revived after the fact. So this may mean that Goku won't be able to be revived by the Dragon Balls. Though you could also argue the Dragon Balls are more powerful than any reviving spell in Overlord. Either way, the Super Dragon Balls would definitely be able to revive him again. However, I'm talking as if Goku would be killed by the spell in the first place, which is still up for debate. He can't really amp his defense to protect his body on this one, but it seems having a strong enough ki actually negates the effects of magic. This was shown when Vegeta was turned into candy and he actually retained all of his power and consciousness, and was able to continue beating on Buu until Buu finally had to turn him back. Everyone else that was hit by the attack was turned into lifeless candy, so there's clearly some magic resistance at play here. However, he was still physically turned into candy, so that means he wasn't completely resistant. So now the question is, did Vegeta resist it because he was so much stronger than Buu, or did he resist it because when you reach his level of power, you can resist any magic? Well, this question doesn't really matter too much, as Goku has long surpassed this version of Vegito. However, you can still argue base Goku might still be weaker than this version. But he still shouldn't be that far off in power. The Dragon Balls could also be considered magical, and it was stated that you couldn't wish enemies dead that were stronger than the person who created the Dragon Balls in the first place. So if we use that logic, the person using death magic on Goku would have to be stronger than him for it to work. However, Ainz's magic doesn't have to automatically follow the rules of the magic in Dragon Ball, so we can't say it wouldn't work for sure. But I think there's enough evidence to say that there is a chance that it won't work. I don't think this spell by itself is enough to argue that Ainz can kill Goku. There is a more powerful death magic that might have a chance. The goal of all life is death. The reason this spell might work is that it amplifies death magic to the point that it negates all resistances the opponent has to death magic, which means any magical resistance Goku had gets negated. It's so powerful, it literally kills things that aren't even alive, even though that doesn't even make sense. You may want to bring up how Shaltir survived it, but she actually didn't. She just had a revive item on her that brought her back to life right away, so it actually did kill her. The big downfall of this spell is it takes 12 seconds to activate, so all Goku has to do is beat Ainz before the 12 seconds are up. For someone as fast and strong as Goku, this would be child's play, but due to Goku's soft and arguably stupid nature, he may just let the spell go off and get killed. It's also worth noting that Goku's defense is much lower when he's off guard, as shown in Resurrection F when he was mortally wounded by a common ray gun. So under the right circumstances, Ainz might be able to damage or even kill Goku with some of the spells I said shouldn't be able to hurt him. So to answer the question, can Ainz kill Goku? I think the answer is yes, but it's extremely unlikely and would have to be under certain circumstances. Even if Ainz's abilities could kill Goku, Goku's astronomically faster to the point he can blitz him thousands of times over before Ainz can even process what is happening. If you go by some statements in the light novel calling attacks the speed of lightning, and how Ainz can use and react to lightning magic, you could argue Ainz operates at faster than lightning speeds. But Goku has long since surpassed the speed of light, which isn't even comparable. You could even argue lightning magic isn't even as fast as real lightning, and that those lightning statements were just hyperboles. In which case Ainz wouldn't even have any proper speed feats to scale off of. But it doesn't matter either way, as lightning speed isn't even close to being fast enough to give Goku trouble. Well, what about time stop? That way Goku would be frozen in time and Ainz could do anything he wants to him, right? Well, not really. Ainz can't actually attack with his spells during the time stop. He can just set them up. So as long as Goku can deal with them while time isn't stopped, he should be fine. The only spell I think is a real threat is the goal of all life is death, and if Ainz uses time stop, the 12-second cast time will also be frozen. So that strategy won't work. Super Saiyan Blue Goku with Kaioken times 10 broke through Hit's time skip. And Jiren was actually stated to have power that transcended time itself. And Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is even stronger than that version of Jiren. So at full power, Goku could arguably break out of the time stop anyways. And this is all under the assumption Ainz didn't get blitzed and killed before he could even activate the time stop in the first place. The only way I think time stop would work is if Goku isn't actively trying to kill Ainz, if Goku isn't at full power, and if True Death worked on Goku. That way, Ainz can activate time stop before being killed, use delay magic, True Death, just like he did against Gazif, and kill Goku with it. However, Goku's so fast there's a chance that he would kill Ainz in that split second right after the time stop gets undone and before delay magic True Death activates. In which case, it would be a draw as both opponents would have killed each other. So I think it's safe to say that Ainz doesn't stand much of a chance against Goku currently. But what about the Gokus of the past? At what point would Ainz have a solid chance of beating Goku? I think the strongest version of Goku Ainz would beat for a majority is Kid Goku during the fight with King Piccolo. That version of Goku just barely managed to defeat King Piccolo, who was able to blow away cities, which is something Ainz should be able to do as well. And while you could argue King Piccolo and Goku still might have a bit more raw power, Ainz has way more versatility with all of his magical abilities. When it comes to speed, it's hard to say for sure, but if we go by statements, Goku should be slower than lightning at this point, while Ainz should be faster. If we don't go by statements, and if we assume that lightning magic isn't actually lightning speed, Goku would have better showings. But I'm not sure being faster is enough to outright win this fight, especially since Ainz has teleportation magic, as well as flight, neither of which Goku had at that point. So overall, I would give Ainz the advantage here. However, I think Ainz loses the majority to Goku during the 23rd Budokai. Again, going back to the lightning statements, Popo said Goku's training would make him faster than lightning. So if we believe in that statement and don't consider it a metaphor or hyperbole, then there's a good chance that Goku's faster, or at least comparable to Ainz in speed after his training. As long as we accept the Overlord statements as well. This version of Goku was also strong enough to tank a massive ki attack from Piccolo that was able to completely cover a large island, that was stated to be the size of a small continent in the Daizenshu. Visually it doesn't look quite that big, but it should still be enough to say that he should tank most of Ainz's spells. And Goku's attack power should be comparable to Piccolo's, And if you go by the guidebook, his Super Kamehameha actually has enough power to shatter the moon. But even if you ignore that, it should still be enough to get rid of Ainz. I think Ainz still has a chance against this version of Goku, but this is where I start to lean towards Goku winning a majority of the fights. After that point, the only way I see Ainz winning is if Goku isn't really going for the win, and if Ainz gets him with one of his spells I mentioned before that can bypass his conventional durability. And once Goku reaches high Busaga tier, where he can scream through dimensions and resist magic, Ainz really runs out of options. So what do you guys think? Can Ainz really kill Goku? Are there any spells I'm forgetting that might work? Or is Goku so powerful Ainz can't even kill him in his sleep? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Let them spill forth. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a bony thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow my Weeaboo kingdom, and I need you all to join me as my basement guardians. I think taking over YouTube might be enjoyable.
悪いが戦闘開始までそのまま待っていてもらうぞ。フライ、ブレスオブマジックキャスター、インフィニティウォール、マジックウォードホーリー、ライフエッセンス。
I don't think this guy looks as strong as he says, do you?
Not really.
Hey, let's put him to the test.
What? Dad, I don't know if...
Watch. That attack was just child's play.